going to start, and we have sort of a surprise for me, which is one of our wonderful poets who is also a very dedicated painter. She painted several windows very well, and I think it was really the first time she had done something like this. And so she's given so much to Lexington's version of neighborhood haiku, but she has more to contribute. She actually wrote a poem to launch tonight's event. So I want to invite Julia Eustace up.
Good evening. I just wrote this about the haiku, and then I thought it would be a good introductory poem. Come find out. Who knows if haiku will do for you what it has done for me? Put a smile on my face, put a paintbrush in my hand, put an image in my mind, put a question on my lips, put new friends in my heart, and put pride in my step. Will you come? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing tonight? Good? Yay! Excellent. Well, I'm so excited to see such a full house. My name is Carol Ward. I'm the executive director here at the Lexington Historical Society. We are always so thrilled to work with so many amazing community organizations and to host the celebration tonight here at the Depot. Nothing makes me happier to see this building filled with people that love art, that love history, and on your way out, if you want to take a look at a couple of the poster boards, we are in the midst of fundraising for a very large project that's going to be in this building, the Depot Transformation Project. We are so close to our goal. Our goal is $500,000, and we have raised $450,000 of that so far. Thank you, yes. So feel free to donate. As I always say, every little amount or large amount helps. And so that project is going to be completed probably by mid-2024, and this space will literally be transformed into an education center, an exhibition center, and what we use it for today, a community space as well. So super, super exciting. I am thrilled that we're part of the Community Haiku Project. We have one of the haikus on our door back there. And I just moved here about 10 months ago from New York City, and so Steve and Cecily and Lori learned very quickly that I rarely say no. I want to work with as many partners as possible, and I am excited that you are all here for this culmination of such a great community art event, and I will turn it over to Steve.
Thanks, Carol. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Poltuzhitsky. I am with the Lexington Council for the Arts, which is the sponsor and I guess the energy, part of the energy behind this project. So thanks for everyone. I'm going to just give a few words of thanks to people who have been instrumental in bringing this project about. First, the Mass Cultural Council. We have a representative here, Gelmi, back there. Can you just... They've been very, very helpful and have provided some of the funding for the project, so we very much appreciate that. And they are essentially the mothership as far as the Arts Council goes. We are, in Lexington, we are one of many arts councils around the state, and we are happy to work with the MCC. Now the town of Lexington, the town manager, Jim Loy, has been very helpful, the select board, and the economic development department, Sundaya Iyer and Casey Haggerty in particular have been very helpful in promoting this project and providing additional funding. And so the town has been a major funder for this project, and we appreciate that. The Arts Council itself, we have a number of members. And we have about a dozen or so. I'll just call out three in particular. Jesse Chen, who's you may have seen taking some photographs before. Anwel Tsai, who is a webmaster. And Ashley Rooney, who handles publicity. So thanks to them. Cary Library has been a partner. The Monroe Center for the Arts. Is Christina here? Not yet. She'll be here. Lexington Community Education, another partner. Chamber of Commerce has been very helpful as well. A number of the members have been either partners or contributed in other ways, so thanks to the Chamber. The Historical Society. Thanks, Carol. You've been really, is she still here? Oh, there you are. Thank you, Carol. And we have something for you. Hold on, just. Two other folks who have been putting in the lion's share of the work, and there's a lot of work that goes into a project like this. The artistic director, which is Cecily Miller. Thank you, Cecily. And our program manager, Lori Bachmann. So really a fantastic amount of work goes into this, and thanks to everyone. So Lori will take you the next step. I'm going to introduce Lori Bogdan, our program manager, and she'll introduce some others. Come on up. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Steve. So I am thrilled to be here to celebrate the Lexington by bringing you Neighborhood Haiku. It was the goal of the Lexington Council for the Arts to link the businesses of Lexington Center and East Lexington by sharing haiku poems written by folks in and around town. This effort would not have been possible without teamwork. The teamwork of Cecily Miller, our artistic director, and Steve. So I thank you both for including me in this project. 34 juried haiku poems have been placed around town, and we appreciate the businesses that welcomed us. To quote Jerry Michelson, "The Window Haiku Project is a nice walk-around activity in Lexington Center, even as the streetscape construction is ongoing." We all know about that. We appreciate all that Jerry does with the Lexington Center Committee and what Eric Michelson does for the Lexington Retailer Association. In fact, part of our inspiration for this project was to give our neighbors another reason to get out and wander around town. Special thanks tonight for Enterprise Bank and Anasaptera Mercantile for their generous financial donations to our project. Anasaptera is new to the center, and we appreciate Rosemary's support for the arts. Rosemary, I know you're here, so stand up. Are you here? There she is. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about what's behind the process of this project. In order to bring these poems to you, we got together a team of 20 artists to learn the art of sign painting by brush. We were guided by our wonderful master sign painter, Kenji Nakayama. Is he here? Okay, he's not here with us tonight, but he's here in spirit. To get started, we needed a place to learn and to practice. Ma France in East Lexington let us use their windows for this process. Thank you. We also want to thank Wicked Bagels for keeping us fed and hydrated during our painting in East Lexington. In Lexington Center, the newly opened Conte's Bike Shop wanted to give back to their new community, and they allowed us to practice on 2 occasions in their windows. We welcome you and we thank you. Is anybody here from Conte's tonight? Well, they're a new shop, check them out. Without our artist team who volunteered their time and skill to this project, it would not have been possible. So our team is some of our team is represented here tonight, and I'd like to ask you to stand. Any painters that were here? If you could stand. Thank you. They worked very hard in the heat. At this time, I'd like to introduce Cecily Miller, again, our artistic director, who will speak to you about haiku poetry. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. I'm going to keep it short because I want to hear the poems. And just say that we put out the word, we put out a call. We had no idea what the results would be. We got over 220 poems. And a wonderful diversity of voices. Some of the poems spoke to challenges. Many of the poems spoke to the beauty of nature. Others spoke about neighbors or people, family. A wonderful cup of tea. A few were about the crazy sidewalk disruption that we're experiencing in the center. And we had a wonderful jury. Hannah Mahoney, who's here today. Jeannie Martin and Gideon Young. Jeannie lives in Arlington. Gideon lives in North Carolina. And he joined us by Zoom, and that was so cool to have someone. He actually did grow up in the New England area, so he's familiar with our ways. But at the same time, it brought a fresh perspective, so that was great. And Brad helped me put that jury together. Brad Bennett, who'll be speaking after me. So my job really is I'm a public art curator. I work on community arts projects. I'm not a haiku expert, but I have loved learning about it, both through this project and also a similar project in Arlington Heights and a similar project on the Bikeway a few years ago. So it's just been a delight. And people who've helped me on my journey include Jessie Brown, who is an amazing, inspiring poet that lives in Arlington. And really from my first iteration, she was kind of my partner in thinking about how do you put poetry out in public? How do you get it off the page and put it where people live? And when we were organizing this project in Arlington, someone from the Haiku Society said to me, well, do you know you have two of the best poets, haiku poets living in Arlington? I'm like, no. And one of them was Brad, and one of them was Jeannie Martin, who was our juror. And so both Brad and Jessie taught workshops, because easy as haiku might seem, it's a challenge to do it really well. And I would encourage any of you who have enjoyed dipping your toes in, or who are already very accomplished, to consider brushing up your skills with either of these wonderful people and another person who we'll be introducing soon. That was a little not the most suave way to say that, but I'm trying to stay on task. So I think that's enough. I'll just say I'm deeply grateful to Lori Bogdan for doing this project with me. I would not have survived it without her masterful attention to detail. And I'll someday get over Steve Polterzerski insisting that I do this at my busiest time of year. No, thank you so much for inviting me to do this project here in Lexington. So next up is Brad, and I actually asked him to say a few words about haiku. And by a wonderful coincidence, he was teaching an intermediate haiku class at the Lexington Adult Education Center, the Lexington Community Education Center, I should say. And so he's also going to bring up a couple of his students and read for a couple of students who couldn't be here. And they have we did a group installation of their poems on Abbott Custard. And for any of you who've been enjoying sandwiches and chips and cookies, I want to thank Kraft Food Hall for their generous donation of snacks to keep us going tonight. Okay, congrats.
Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me with my mask on? Is that okay? Okay, great. Good.
Pick this up. Make it comfortable for yourself.
Thank you. So I am an Arlington resident, just over the border, and I spend a lot of time in Lexington, actually, at Whipple Hill and at Great Meadows of Arlington. There's some really beautiful green places in Lexington, and I've written hundreds of poems in your fair town. I am a haiku poet. I've published a couple of haiku books myself. I love it. I'm also a co-editor of Frog Pond, which is the journal of the Haiku Society of America. So if you're interested in learning more about haiku, I would really urge you to look at the Haiku Society of America online and check out their resources. I also teach haiku, as Cecily mentioned, in local community education organizations like Lexington. And I was very fortunate to teach an intermediate class this spring, and a couple of those wonderful writers are here tonight. I'm going to start off with a few remarks about this wonderful poetry form. And, you know, it's a short poem, obviously, right? Just 3 lines, but it can be extremely powerful. So what makes a great haiku? Well, first of all, the haiku, as I just mentioned, is the shortest poetry form, so every single word matters. In a great haiku, every word is carefully chosen and is essential to the poem. Secondly, a great haiku celebrates the extraordinary in the ordinary. All those little ordinary moments that happen to us every day that we don't really think about. And so haiku can slow us down and help us pay attention to those ordinary moments. Third, a great haiku keenly depicts one moment at a time. Haiku is usually in a present tense. It's about the here and now. It helps us be present in the world. Fourth, a great haiku is place-based. You get to know the place where the haiku was experienced and written. So it's the perfect form for this project because so many special haiku are written about Lexington. Fifth, a great haiku leaves space for the reader to bring their own interpretation to the poem. And that's a key point of haiku. Hopefully the haiku doesn't tell us what or how to think. It presents things and then allows us to create our own meaning. And lastly, and one of the most important things about haiku, a good haiku has juxtaposition. The poet puts 2 things in front of the reader, and the reader gets to kind of compare them in many ways. So what can haiku do for us? Well, I think haiku reading and writing can help us slow down, stay open to the beauty of the world. It helps us get in touch with gratitude, all those little moments that are extraordinary. It helps us get in touch with beauty, helps us get in touch with and connect with nature and with human nature. And I believe, just like most poetry, haiku can provide solace during difficult times. And we have had some difficult times over the last few years. So let's hear some of these fantastic poems. And 6 students in my spring intermediate haiku class wrote poems. And as Cecily mentioned, they're on the Abbott's Frozen Custard store around the corner. And I'm going to start by reading the folks' poems who couldn't make it tonight. And then 2 of them are here, and they'll be able to read their own. So this first one is by Diana Bassist. Mystic river, a painted turtle spreads its claws. Mystic river, a painted turtle spreads its claws. The next one is by Paula Sears. 100 acres awaiting haiku, Willard's Woods. Anybody walk there? 100 acres awaiting haiku, Willard's Woods. This next one is by Michael Krupa. Resting against a stone wall, musket ball. Get some history there. Resting against a stone wall, musket ball. And if you look at that poem, he actually put a period next to the W in wall to signify the musket ball right next to the wall. Pretty clever. The next one is by Lisa Sparacco. America's John Hancock in battle green blood. Winds sway boughs while roots ground trees. America's John Hancock in battle green blood. Winds sway boughs while roots ground trees. And I'm going to end this portion with mine, and then we'll pass it over to the other folks who are in the class. Reaching the top of Whipple Hill, egg white clouds. Reaching the top of Whipple Hill, egg white clouds. So Donna and Bob, want to come on up, one at a time?
I want to thank everyone who organized such a great presentation. It works on all kinds of levels. And I want to thank Brad for midwifing me. So I live actually in northern Lexington, but it's called Rockport. And this is one from there. Latest sunset, floating rose and mango, boats gliding on glass. Latest sunset, floating rose and mango, boats gliding on glass. And everywhere in New England, but especially here in the historic part of the province, the Commonwealth, moss-wrapped wall. Underneath this in-between, rabbits hiding. Moss-wrapped wall. Underneath this in-between, rabbits hiding. Thanks.
So that was wonderful, and also makes it clear that the biggest thank you of all. Oh, is there one more? I'm sorry. Oh, right, Paula. Are you Paula?
No, I'm done.
You're done. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll be quick.
No, don't be quick. Don't feel rushed. It's my mistake.
And I'd also like to say hello to everyone and thank Brad for teaching me haiku. And he will also be hearing from me later because I had absolutely no idea I was going to be standing up in front of a group of people trying to read a haiku. You'll get my email, Brad. Okay. First, a horse trough. Now a planter holding flowers. Minuteman statue upgrade. First, a horse trough. Now a planter holding flowers. Minuteman statue upgrade. So, thank you.
So what I was going to say is that the biggest thank you of all really goes to all of our amazing poets who are reading tonight. And I'm so grateful to all of you for the incredible words you've brought us. And so the first of the poets who've been through the contest is Sureja. I'm worried I will mangle your last name, so I'm just going to say Sureja or Miss Sureja, as certain people corresponded to me about you. This amazing person, first of all, I kind of fell in love with one of her haiku, but it emerged as we were going through as I was going through the lists and emailing people that there were a number of poets from India, and one of them knew Sureja, and I was like, this is really interesting. There's this like sort of global, local connection, and so there's sort of a story to that, which is that which Sureja will share with you herself. So she is one of our poets today. She wrote a wonderful haiku that is on Center Goods, and she's also reading some of the haiku of people who really couldn't fly to the US from India for this event, but very much wanted to be here in spirit, and so they've asked her to share their work with us tonight. So if you would come up.
Thank you so much, Cecily, for inviting me to say a few words. This is so special. Like, it doesn't matter if you're published in a bunch of different places, but having your haiku in your own hometown, it's just something else. And I'm so happy to be here. So Cecily asked me to share a few words about my haiku journey. So we moved to Lexington in 2010 from Philadelphia. And I was new in town, and I was looking for activities to engage in, And I love the library, so I was really happy to see that Cary Library they were going to offer a 6-week course on haiku writing. This was in January of 2011. So I signed up for the class. It was free. It was conducted by Pamela Powers. And, very predictably, I fell in love with haiku. And even more predictably, I fell in love with Basho's famous frog haiku, which, for those of you who haven't heard it, it is, "Old pond, a frog jumps into the sound of water. Old pond, a frog jumps into the sound of water." I mean, how amazing is that? So I fell in love. And once the class was done, I wanted more. So I searched online, and then I found a website called allpoetry.com that was offering, again, more free haiku classes. So of course I signed up, and they have a very good, a whole bunch of really excellent poets, including those writing Oriental poetry forms like haiku, tanka, haibun, many tanka prose, many different forms. So this was my first poetic community. This was my first time writing any sort of poetry at all. And in this community, I learned a lot, all about different poetic forms, but I was in love with and I still am in love with all of these Japanese forms. So for a few years, I wrote and I learned a lot there. And then I was asked by the dean of their teaching, they've got a whole teaching school in there, to teach the advanced haiku class, which I've been teaching for the last several years now, 6 or 7 years. And it's a really rewarding experience. Obviously, it's a voluntary activity, and I get to meet so many different people from all over the world who go through these classes. And in fact, one of the, several of our poets from there have been well published, have won awards and stuff. And one of the poets actually has an award-winning haiku, has a haiku in this contest as well. So that's my journey there. And then fast forward now to the pandemic, 2020, and the online world just exploded in a different way. And I came in contact with an Indian poetry group called Triveni, which was created by a very well-known poet called Kala Ramesh. So there's a very good-sized group of very talented Indian poets, and several of their haiku, interestingly, have been accepted at in this project here today. So I became a part of Triveni, and then there's a very nice website called trivenihaikai.com, where there's a group of haiku writers, mentors, and I'm one of the mentors and editors as well, for their online journal Haiku Katha. And it's going to be my pleasure today to read not only my haiku, but also haiku that have been written from both of my poetry homes, so allpoetry.com as well as Triveni. And coincidentally, all of the poets who've had their poems accepted from both these groups are also from India. So it's my honor to represent India, as well as, of course, our lovely town of Lexington. Thank you. So I'll start off with reading the haiku written by these poets, and then I'll finish up with mine. So the first couple of haiku are by Srinivasa Rao Sambangi, and he's from Hyderabad in India. Red oak tree, I too wish to grow where I was born. Red oak tree, I too wish to grow where I was born. The next one is also by him. Heavy rains, the brook's voice becoming male. Heavy rains, the brook's voice becoming male. The next poet is Ravi Kiran, also from Hyderabad, India. Discovery Day. So he actually did research on Lexington, on the different activities that happen in Lexington, and he read about Discovery Day. So Discovery Day, before the live jazz, a robin's song. Discovery Day, before the live jazz, a robin's song. The next one by him, Whipple Hill, the flowers sway on her chiffon. Whipple Hill, the flowers sway on her chiffon. The next couple of haiku are from Neena Singh, who is from Chandigarh, India. Spring breeze, the scent of lavender as she walks past. Spring breeze, the scent of lavender as she walks past. Summer elixir, mandarin oranges scent my shopping cart. Summer elixir, mandarin oranges scent my shopping cart. The next poet is Mallika Chari from Chennai, India. Waterfall, the soft algae cling to the rocks. Waterfall, the soft algae cling to the rocks. Night wind, the unbolted door in a rhythmic blow. Night wind, the unbolted door in a rhythmic blow. And finally, I'll read the haiku of mine that was selected. So I'd just like to say my husband is here, and so are some of my friends, including several from my book club. So I would like to dedicate my haiku to a very special person who was in our book club and used to encourage me greatly in my writing. Sadly, she passed away after a long battle with cancer just last month. Alpana, these haiku are dedicated to you. Robin's nest, blue eggshells filled with rain. Robin's nest, blue eggshells filled with rain. Battle green, the loud shrieks of picnickers. Battle green, the loud shrieks of picnickers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I mean, isn't this amazing? It shows you how haiku is both so very particular and observed, but also has this universality, this that can cross borders and cross time. So thank you. And so now we're going to turn back to the folks who are here who wrote poems, which is excellent. I want to invite Anne Sullivan up after her. Maybe I'll say, just to save time, say then Brian Schultz, Carol Davidson, who's also one of our talented painters, another person who's given so much to the project. And then I will read a poem by Denise Elyanoff. Thank you. Oh, and I forgot. We have a surprise guest, Bennett Swan. So actually, we'll have Anne, Bennett, Brian, Carol.
Hello, everyone. I live in Arlington and lived in Arlington most of my life, and it seems like most of my life I've been walking on the bike trail from Arlington to Lexington. Just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And the two haiku I'll read have both been inspired by walks on the bike path. The first one is Spring Cacophony, Great Meadows bird songs, no longer muffled by snow. Spring cacophony, great meadow bird songs, no longer muffled by snow. And the second one, which is also from the bike path, it has a little bit of Lexington history that I learned about. If I can see it here. Joyce Miller's Meadow, enigmatic trails over ancient black bogland. Joyce Miller's Meadow, enigmatic trails over ancient black bogland. Thank you very much.
Bennett Swan.
No taxation without representation. Revolution was here. No taxation without representation. Revolution was here. Ice cream is delicious. Sweet edible summer dribbling down our chins. Ice cream is delicious. Sweet edible summer dribbling down our chins.
All right, well, I want to thank Cecily and Lori and Steve for the chance to be part of such a wonderful project. It's a great opportunity and an honor. I'm Brian Schultz. I write poems and short stories, and I love haiku for the way that it makes me look at the world. My first poem, Full Moon. Moths rise from shaggy grass, flutter into the night. Full moon, moths rise from shaggy grass, flutter into the night. My second poem, at pond's edge, a hawk dips her wing, breaks the surface of empty blue sky. At pond's edge, a hawk dips her wing, breaks the surface of empty blue sky.
Well, I have to also give great acknowledgement to the amazing team of Cecily and Lori, who are not only incredibly organized and good problem solvers, but make it fun too. So thank you. And also to Brad for my introductory haiku workshop, from whence these come. So, first one. Bright white steeple, green grass triangle, glinting hero, poses for centuries. Bright white steeple, green grass triangle, glinting hero, poses for centuries. And another one. There may be many of you who were also great fans of something special we saw happening along the shores of the Res in recent months. So perhaps this will ring a bell. Twiggy nest on shore holds downy white plumpness. Mr. Swan waits in water. Twiggy nest on shore holds downy white plumpness. Mr. Swan waits in water.
So next up is Selena, and then David Brooks Andrews, and David is also going to read a poem by Scott Thompson, and then Erica Downs will read for her daughter Georgia. Is Georgia here? Are you sure you don't want to take a crack at it yourself, Georgia? Well, that's okay. All right, so take it away, Selena.
Hello, my name is Selena Burgueño. I live here in Lexington, and this haiku is inspired by Captain Parker's words to the Minutemen on the Battle of Lexington. What began here grows from brick to green. History lives in each neighbor. What began here grows from brick to green. History lives in each neighbor. Thank you.
I'm David Andrews, and I live in Wellesley, not far away. He stays in New York City, but soaks in his tub reading Walden. He stays in New York City, but soaks in his tub reading Walden. Ice clusters strewn across the windshield, winter morning's bridal veil. Ice clusters strewn across the windshield, winter morning's bridal veil. And I have a couple haiku from Scott Thompson, who has a haiku in this contest. Fireflies ignite, one of a million stars above cascades into flight. Fireflies ignite, one of a million stars above cascades into flight. So many angling snowflakes slip through the wood smoke stream, too dark to see. So many angling snowflakes slip through the wood smoke stream, too dark to see.
Good evening. I'm Erica, but I am not a poet. My daughter, Georgia Chan, is, and she had a lot of fun with this, so thank you, everybody, for organizing. She's feeling a little shy tonight, so reading on her behalf. The first one is waves crash on the beach, seagulls glide over the sea, dolphins swim with grace. Waves crash on the beach, seagulls glide over the sea, dolphins swim with grace. And the next one, Lexington has some interesting history and is a great home. Lexington has some interesting history and is a great home.
So I just want to say, Georgia, one of the things I did was try to match up the poems with the locations. And I was a little stumped at first by your poem about dolphins. And then lo and behold, the optical shop in the center has this marvelous tropical vacation displays. You have to take a look. I mean, it's amazing. It's a little yacht in the ocean, and it was the perfect setting. And they weren't convinced that they were going to participate. When they saw Georgia's poem, they were in. And that, I believe, was Lori's diplomatic skills at work. So now I'm going to invite my another co-conspirator, Jesse Brown, up to take over on the MC portion of this next batch. We're going to hear from a few more poets, and then we're going to take a very, very short break to swap people out and finish up with our last poets. And I hope you'll all stay because there's a lot of marvelous poetry to come.
You don't have to applaud for the transition. I'm Jesse Brown, and I had the joy of giving 3 workshops just for this. Unlike Brad, I don't do this regularly. I'm not a haiku poet. I'm one of those regular poets. But I've been converted, and I got to do workshops at the Carey twice and at the Monroe, and with people of different ages, and we had so much fun that it's my pleasure and my joy to introduce some of them. And I want to start with Yoon-Suk Kim, who was with us at the intergenerational art and haiku workshop that Lori and I did at Monroe. Come on up.
My name is Eunsu Kim. I'm from South Korea. I joined a haiku workshop with my daughter Jayla, and we really enjoyed the time with my daughter and some of other different family and with her. And I really appreciate this opportunity. My haiku, I was thinking about kimchi, the Korean traditional food. Then I'm thinking about something else too. 지글지글 kimchi pancake. Smell it. Miss my mom. 지글지글 kimchi pancake. Smell it. Miss my mom. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Makes me miss my mom. Is Francesca here? Come on up.
Can I just say 2 sentences first? Yeah. Well, I've taught in Lexington. I've been retired for a while, and this is my way of being part of Lexington. I live here as well in the East Part. But I also want to say that I got involved in haiku because there was a pandemic haiku on Facebook from Robin Cheneau from Iowa, and she brought the whole country together, sending in these haikus when we couldn't go out. And I'm thankful to her and to all of you for having this today. And mine is, I wrote a lot of serious haikus when I was writing them on that Facebook site, but this one is just kind of funny. By the way, I taught in Arlington too, so I know probably a lot of your kids from the past if they've graduated in a while. So this one is, and I brought a prop as well. Here they are, and they are real. They're really from there. Blue, red, green, purple? No, not flowers. Some sneakers. Michelson has them. Blue, red, green, purple? No, not flowers. Some sneakers. Michelson's has them.
I want to welcome up also our friend Hal Ober to do the next poems. I've had the pleasure of knowing Hal and his wife Carol and his sister-in-law Jacqueline and his father-in-law Charlie Schwab from the Arlington dynasty.
Would it be easier to bring the mic over?
I think we're okay.
Deal with it.
We'll just make a path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carol, maybe you could just hold that.
Thank you. A lot of paraphernalia for a short poem, but hopefully worth it. How does spilled sunlight regather so evenly on tall brick walls? How does spilled sunlight regather so evenly on tall brick walls? And second, chanting blue jay turns change purse of spendthrift song sparrow plaid. Chanting blue jay turns change purse of spendthrift song sparrow plaid. Thank you.
I love that we're almost at capacity here. And so after our next reader, Helen, we're not going to take a break from reading, but we're going to quickly swap out because of the mobs of poets who are here so that they can sit closer to the mic. Would you like to come up and read yours, Helen Yang?
Thank you, Jessie. My name is Helen Yang. I'm a Lexington resident. I wanted to first thank Cecily, Laurie, and many others for making this happen. So this is based on a true story. When one day I noticed there's a nest in my wreath, and I told my child about it. And here is the poem. Curiosity from cat, child, and me. Scarce birds nesting in the wreath. Curiosity from cat, child, and me. Scarce birds nesting in the wreath. So it is actually a sad story, and the bird flew away, and there are still 4 eggs in there. So just leave them alone next time.
Don't give up. But I want everybody who is sitting in these front seats to seed them to our next phalanx of haiku poets.
And so just a reminder, this, we hope Marta and Maya Christova are here, Irene Hannigan, Jeff Huffman, Jessica Lucci, Judith Gorgoni, Julia Hustis, June Rowe, Leora T., the Herbert family. Just take any chair that's up here, it's fine. Don't worry about alphabetical order.
You mentioned you were going to read a poem by Denise Eliano.
I'm going to read it at the end. I decided. Yes, thank you. Good job. You did excellent. You were really good. Quick on your feet. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for reading. Yeah.
Hi. How are you? My daughter Sabrina. Are you Cecily? Yes. Should I have her sit or should I wait till the next one?
It depends on how many seats we have. Let's see what. Is the Patel family here? Anita, Arjun, and Kush? If you could come up next. And then Sabrina. Yeah, Sabrina, why don't you just pull a chair? Take my chair over there where Jessie is, because you're definitely going to come up soon. And Susan Kopic. And that'll be the next group, and then Brad will close us out. Well, actually, and I'll close us out after you with the poem by Denise. So, okay. So, do you want to? Oh, well, first Marta and Maya. So, if any of you have seen the poster for this event, it features Maya's wonderful poem, which I am so grateful for. Slightly bent, but these are your souvenir posters. Thank you. And thank you for giving us a really great, intriguing poem that convinced a lot of people to come tonight. Oops. There we go.
Buzzing along, bees buzz, 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 pollinating flowers along the way. Buzzing along, bees buzz, 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 pollinating flowers along the way. Your wings rustle, flap, flap. Are you a bird or a book? Your wings rustle, flap, flap. Are you a bird or a book?
Thank you very much. This is my daughter Maya Nistala,
And I'm Marta Christoph, and I have two haiku. One is, the Minuteman runs through the heart of town, brings green beauty history. The Minuteman runs through the heart of town, brings green beauty history. And the second one is, blue signs mark walking trails, like love letters from neighbors past and present. Blue signs mark walking trails, like love letters from neighbors past and present. Thank you.
I love how the haiku, like other poems, run down dynasties. And now I get to introduce Irene Hannigan, whom I've also known for a while. Like many people, including how some folks tell us, oh, I don't write poetry, because they're so gifted at whatever prose they were doing before, and then they prove us wrong, and it keeps giving. Come on up.
Thank you very much, Jessie. Yes, I have been writing free verse with Jessie for a long time, and I write prose too. So this is my first foray into haiku, and I know I'm going to be in one of your workshops soon, too, Grant Bennett. Okay, so this one, I don't have a dog, but there are dogs in my life. And in my neighborhood, I know the names of dogs, even though I don't know the name of our neighbors. So my first poem is about, I'll just read it. Sniffing for a pal. A dachshund greets a Great Dane. Their humans say hi. Sniffing for a pal, a dachshund greets a Great Dane. Their humans say hi. And then I have one, another ice cream poem, but this is for more adults, but I like the dribbling down the chin that young man just wrote. Drizzly, overcast, hopes for an outing dashed. Get a cone of coffee. Drizzly, overcast, hopes for an outing dashed. Get a cone of coffee. Thank you.
I'll keep saying names, but Jeff knows he's next. Yes?
Hello, I'm Jeff Huffman. I am a Lexington resident. I'm 49, and this is the first haiku I ever wrote. Bird on the common, knows nothing of history, just today's first worm. Bird on the common, knows nothing of history, just today's first worm. Thank you.
I hope you all are getting inspired. I want to ask the other Jessie to come up next. I'm the Arlington Jessie. Now we get the Waltham Jessie. See how haiku bring us all together?
And I want to thank Jessie for introducing me to high-class haiku, knowing that everybody can do it if they can just open their minds a little bit. And because of her, I've opened my mind and written a whole book of haiku here, what my daughter gave me. So I'll read to you two. One is, on a busy summer sidewalk, shadows scurry, ants go shopping. On a busy summer sidewalk, shadows scurry, ants go shopping. And the next one, umbrellas and lights, crumbs fall from tables, sparrows picnic. Umbrellas and lights, crumbs fall from tables, sparrows picnic.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been reminded I should be saying last names as well, so you can come up and ask for copies from Jeff Huffman or Jessie Lucci. But now I get to introduce Judith Gorgoni. Did I say that right? Yes. And shortly, Julia Huestis and June Rowe and Leora Tech.
Hi, I'm from Newton, and I've been writing haiku since 1993 when I lived in Japan. And these are my poems. Okay. The old tar road and the constant persistence of a forget-me-not. The old tar road and constant persistence of a forget-me-not. And then this one here I wrote for Lexington. A ride of fleeting history past the Minuteman. A ride of fleeting history past the Minuteman. Thank you. Thank you for today.
Oh, come on up. Julia Westis.
Thank you. This is a true story. A blue-haired youth reels in a splashy bass. Bait, we ask. Hot dog, he grins. A blue-haired youth reels in a splashy bass. Bait, we ask. Hot dog, he grins.
Thank you. And June Rowe.
Thank you. Thank you to the organizers, and thank you, poets, for sharing your poems. So I'll read two. Early morning mist hangs over the hollow, joins the rushing water. Early morning mist hangs over the hollow, joins the rushing water. The second one is, wading through the meadow, wildflowers sway, a black snake waits in the grass. Wading through the meadow, wildflowers sway, a black snake waits in the grass.
Thank you. And we'll have Leora Tech before Lisa Herbert and some of her family.
Thank you, Jessie, who I have known since our junior year in Spain when we used to share our poems with each other. Geese fly overhead, swans glide gracefully, and ducks dive under for fish. Geese fly overhead, swans glide gracefully, and ducks dive under for fish. On the left, ding ding, a fresh bagel smell wafts by my speed-walking nose. On the left, ding ding, a fresh bagel smell wafts by my speed-walking nose.
So is Lisa going to come up first and then her kids? Okay. I just hope you guys are enjoying all of the smells as well as the sights, the black snake and the textures, as in Julia's poem with the beautiful, sorry? Sorry, I shouldn't be commenting.
I want a bagel now. Hi, I'm Lisa Hebert, and I live in Lexington, and two of my children will be following me with their haiku, Lucia Schapfel and Sebastian Schapfel. I'll read two. When I read, I dream of adventures and new lives vicariously. When I read, I dream of adventures and new lives vicariously. I like to eat food and drink a good cup of tea. Hope the food likes me. I like to eat food and drink a good cup of tea. Hope the food likes me.
come on up. Should I say your names? It's Lucia and then Sebastian.
Someone helps me up. I see I see people helping friends. Kind is everywhere. Someone helps me up. I see people helping friends. Kind is everywhere. I don't like carrots. They are orange and slimy, but I will eat them. I don't like carrots. They are orange and slimy, but I will eat them.
And that poem is a chance for me to reveal one of our tricks for painting, because that poem is painted in Conte's bike shop. So we have these templates that help guide our painters. So thank you for your fun poem about the color orange.
Nature around me. Left and right, I see nature. Nature everywhere. Nature around me. Left and right, I see nature. Nature everywhere. Animals. Pigs eat straw and bread. I watch them lollygag. They do not eat cows. I watch them lollygag and they do not eat cows. Pigs eat straw and bread. I watch them lollygag and they do not eat cows.
Thank you. Next up, we have the Patel family. I think, where is Anita and her kids? All right. Anita first, and then Arjun and Kush.
We're very grateful for having this opportunity to bring our family together and do haikus together around the kitchen table. Skipping down the street, licking yummy treats, drip, drip, shoes enjoying too. Skipping down the street, licking yummy treats, drip, drip, shoes enjoying too.
Knowledge in the books, librarians hard at work, quiet but the books. Knowledge in the books, librarians hard at work, quiet but the books.
There you go. Sorry.
Sport court in the park, dribble, dribble, basketball, time to get a snack. Sport court in the park, dribble, dribble, basketball, time to get a snack.
Can I just say, and that poem is appropriately painted on a pizza place in East Lexington.
What I was trying to say earlier was distracting me. The painting. The painting is like the writing. Do you remember how in Julia's poem, the haiku puts a smile on your face, pride in your step, and a paintbrush in your hand? It's taking us out of ourselves. And that's why it's using all the senses. I wanted to invite up Sabrina next, with Usha or without.
Hi, I have two poems. One of them is Little Dogs Walking, Bikers Drinking Bean Water, Everyone Happy. The bean water is coffee, it is not anything else. And yeah, it's like, that's the perfect day in Lexington downtown. And then my second one is Bubble Tea and Heat on a scorching summer day, always gone with friends.
Thank you, Sabrina. Now I want to go paint. I want to have some bubble tea. I want to go fishing. Is Susan here? Susan Kapak? Oh, yes.
So my husband and I don't live in Lexington, but he is a volunteer at the Minuteman Park. So this haiku, I just wrote one, is about the statue on the green here in Lexington. Captain Parker scans, alert on the green for us. Patriot stands guard. Captain Parker scans, alert on the green for us. Patriot stands guard.
I want to thank and congratulate all these amazing haiku poets. Wonderful job. I'm going to be reading 3 haiku from folks who couldn't make it today, and they wanted me to read for them. The first is Gary Huffm, and this one is on the music store in East Lexington. Rain outside, old tunes to hum inside. Rain outside, old tunes to hum inside. The next one is by Julie Schwerin. Morning walk, always a kind word, the black-capped chickadee. Morning walk, always a kind word, the black-capped chickadee. And that one is on the French bakery in East Lexington, and I picture a beret on the chickadee.
They wear berets in the French
Do they really?
bakery. When they're making your crepes, they wear berets, so it seemed like the perfect one.
It is the perfect spot. That's great. And the last one that I'm going to read is by Chrissy Villa. Historic cemetery. The silence broken by a crossbill's chirping. Historic cemetery. The silence broken by a crossbill's chirping. And I think that's on this building right back there, right? Yeah.
So we had I got a pretty dramatic email exchange with Denise Ilyanov. I feel like I've come to know some people who are here today through email exchange. She swallowed a fish bone and was rushed to the hospital, and her esophagus was in danger, but the surgery was successful and she's recovering, and she was planning to come to read her poem because it was that important to her. But then she decided this morning discretion was a better part of valor, and really she needed to rest up, so she asked me if I would read her poem. But more than that, she asked me if I would also share her reasons for writing this poem. So the poem is, care and worry fly overhead, but need not make their nest in our hair. A poem for our times, right? I think this is a suitable poem to close with. Care and worry fly overhead, but need not make their nest in our hair. And where do you think we put that? Yes, you put it in a hair salon, and the owners were thrilled to have it. So Denise just wanted to share that she based this haiku on an ancient Chinese proverb, and that she spent a career helping people transform anxiety through therapy. When I became seriously ill nearly 2 decades ago, I added some traditional Chinese medicine tools to my repertoire. I learned, then taught, and now practice daily Tai Chi and Qigong to bring this wise proverb to life, and I'm so delighted to share it with others through this wonderful forum. The proverb was that the birds of worry and care fly over your head. This you cannot change. But that they build nests in your hair, this you can prevent. So. I'm going to turn it over to Lori for some last words.
That was loud. So funny that Cecily pulled out one of the templates because when I was packing up tonight, I found this.
Very nice. We can get a photo of that.
That's right. Here you go. We use these, by the way, to put on the inside of the windows so the painters can know where their letters are to paint them, if you hadn't figured that out. So 2 quick things. Obviously, we're not going on tours because it's raining. So we have, if I didn't hand one out to you, a self-guided tour list of where everything is placed. I will leave them up here. Please take one. And I'd like to tell you that everything is listed on the Lexington Council for the Arts website. A wonderful 2 organizers worked together and did an interactive map that you can access it from. And there's a QR code on here, so you can play with that too. We also have some leftover sandwiches and snacks, so come on over, visit the table, grab some on your way out, and thank you very much for coming tonight.